So, hello everybody. Again, I am Heather Haro. This is the Finish 2024 Strong webinar series. Our coaches in the chat, if you have any questions, this is interactive. Let us know when you have questions and we will get them answered throughout the talk. I am thrilled to have this company. So this company has been with us since we very first started doing our the Pharmacy Profit Summit. And you know how there are just some people that you just think they're just nice. Like, wow, how refreshing! They're just nice, and that's what this whole company is. From their sales folks that I'm sure you guys have all met either at our show or other shows. Um, they're just fantastic, and I don't know. I want to gush about them, so I hope that you guys find them as kind and nice, and their products as fantastic as I do. So Michael Cockerham, he's having a little bit of technical difficulties, so be sure to stop by their booth at our summit this year, and you can meet him face to face. But he is our guest today, and Michael, we have tried to have this webinar a few times over the years, and I'm so very thrilled that we were able to make it happen today.
Yes, well, I appreciate the kind words, and we do have a fantastic team at RNS Northeast. We're going to be talking about dysmenorrhea today, and unfortunately, at this stage in my career, I had no idea I would know so much about period cramps, dysmenorrhea, which is the formal term as the pharmacists know, polycystic ovary syndrome, endometriosis, IUD insertion as a middle-aged male, if you will. But I'm the vice president of consumer brands. I kind of lead this sector with my marketing team, and I've got some really great team members that help with this product and other offerings that RNS has for the pharmacies that we can talk about at the end of this. I have a lot of facts here. We spent a lot of money, a lot of research on the data for a solution for young really young women, middle-aged women that suffer from dysmenorrhea, i.e. period cramps. There hasn't been anything innovative in the last 40 to 50 years to actually aid women through this process. Some women experience debilitating period cramps where they can't even really get out of bed. And unfortunately, the top 6 items selling on Amazon right now are some sort of heating pad or some sort of water bottle that you put hot water in to give some sort of relief. And we're all very familiar with the NSAIDs of Midol and Pamprin that women take. But my biggest question for people is now my slide's not working. Okay, here we go. Let me see here. Okay, about 64 to 68 million women in the United States suffer from period cramps. About 40% of those adult women suffer from PMS. 40.9% experience abdominal cramping, and then on top of that, when you're going through your period cycle, a lot of women suffer from lower back pain, if you will. Let's see here. Sorry. Okay. So my big question when I'm doing a presentation on this product of Control, let me back up a little bit. Control is an all-natural, hormone-free, FDA-cleared, all-natural, and also is gluten-free and vegan. And why are gluten-free and vegan so important? I have no idea, but it seems that the younger generation seem to Google. I use the term goggle, but Google those terms and trying to find solutions for different things. And obviously, this being a fast-acting solution. My question to women is usually, why would you take an NSAID? Why would you take an oral solid that may or may not work in 30 to 45 minutes when you can actually apply this product 1 to 2 quarter sizes, rub into your abdomen, and actually get relief in 1 to 4 minutes? So as you see, 65%, almost 66% of women use medications to try to assist with actual menstrual pain. 49% of those women use painkillers, which is a little overboard for me, if you will. People are obviously looking for all natural. As you see the chart here, you see Control obviously relieves extreme cramping and pain. It's fast acting. It actually targets the muscle group. It's physician approved. It's long lasting. It's all natural. It's easy and convenient. It's one of the main reasons also it's made in the USA. and there are actually no side effects from the product. So,
Yeah, and
also,
I
yes,
think I'm going to stop you for just a second. I think the bigger issue is women are looking for solutions that there are just no solutions to. Those our grandmothers and their moms took Midol and Pampers. There
yes,
just hasn't been a new product in so very long, and I think this by pharmacies carrying this and adding this to that time of the month care packages, you could do some really fun creative marketing around it. But I think it just shows that you're forward thinking and that you care about that population.
yes,
I have lots of conversations because I get to go to a lot of conferences, and
yes,
at
ma'am.
NACDS this year there were tons of women's products for sex, and that's fantastic that we're worried about women's sexual health in general. But there was nothing that that talked to pain or menstrual pain that women have been going through forever, and it's never going to stop, and it's going to continue. So I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
that's why this product is so very important.
Yes, yes, Heather. And that being said, you said there hasn't been anything in the last 40 to 50 years as innovative as this product. It is all natural, and it's a very good solution. It actually works on all muscle groups, which I'll get to later in the presentation. I actually use this product on my lower back. I'm using myself. I'm not a good golfer, but I'm an avid golfer. But I actually use this product on my lower back to loosen my back, or if I have any type of cramping. Um, if I'm, doing any cycling or whatnot, I use it on other muscle groups. So it's just a phenomenal product and being all natural. But yes, it is at NACDS. You are right. There is a very fast growing sector of what you forementioned. But this is a very, very good solution for women that are looking for something that's all natural, especially hormone free. We get inquiries from mothers that are dealing with young women that are getting their periods younger and younger. I've had it as young as 7 and 8 years old, with mothers reaching out and asking if this is approved for a 7 or even 8-year-old, which is shocking to me as a father of a 33-year-old young daughter. But getting younger and younger, and a lot of mothers are faced with, Heather, their daughters going on birth control just to maintain their periods, right, and their menstrual cramping, and they're getting younger and younger, and you're putting unneeded hormones in your body when RNS and Control are actually offering an all natural solution to help mitigate those circumstances and mitigate those pains, right? Let's see here. Go back. So wreak havoc in women's lives here. 31%, almost 32% of women suffer from menstrual pain and what they call absenteeism. So absenteeism doesn't necessarily mean, Heather and listeners, that you're actually absent from work. It means absenteeism. The term of that is meaning you're actually at work, but you're really not in work, right? Your head's not in the game. This helps keep women pain-free, keeping them productive while they're in their workplace. Even young women that are in sports, keeping them on the field, in lines, if you will, and off the bench. And that's what absenteeism is. So this also helps address that. 70% of women actually experience extremely painful periods, Heather. There are about 12 million women in the United States as we sit today that have they're actually nothing actually works for them. So they just know that the 4 to 5 to 6 or whatever how many days they're going to experience this, they're going to be down for the entire time. They're going to be pretty much bedridden, on the couch with some sort of a heating pad or hot or water bottle on them, and just trying to get through those 4 to 5, 6 days, right? Let's see. Your productivity plunges with painful periods, as you see here. Number one reason that women actually miss work and school is due to dysmenorrhea or period cramps. Almost 81% of women report decreased productivity at work as a result of period cramps. And women suffer approximately 23.2 days a year due to period cramps. Let's see. So, 74% of women say that they feel that they must hide any kind of sanitary product. So the product, if you see the bottle, Heather, and people listening, it's a very discreet bottle. We've designed it to be attractive active. So a young lady, whether she's in middle school or high school or in the workforce, are not embarrassed to pull the tube out, excuse himself, go to the ladies' room, apply the 1 to 2 quarter sizes, rub in 30 to 45 seconds, and then you'll actually start to get relief in 1 to 4 minutes. The unique thing about the product, there are other products on the market that are what they call homeopathic, and people who are listening are probably very familiar with the homeopathic term. This is the only solution for menstrual cramping that's actually FDA cleared. If you look at the active ingredients as a pharmacist, if you're sitting out there listening to me today, and you look at the active ingredient in this product is 3% menthol, right? The 3% menthol gives a little bit of a warming feeling, but the 3% menthol is what gives us our FDA monograph in this product. It's not what does the magic. It's not the juice that actually does the magic. There's 17 oils and all natural ingredients that actually work together when you're applying the product that actually penetrate the muscle. And there's actually science behind this product. It's a product. It's not what they consider to be a counter deterrent, like an icy hot or a biofreeze where you put on and you do feel the warmth, but you're really not getting any relief from that product. So what happens is when you're rubbing, when your body starts to cramp, it is scientific. Your body is starting to produce what they call adenodiphosphate, which equals bad muscle energy. And I always relate that, Heather, and people listening, to a cell phone. So your cell phone, when your cell phone drains, how do you get power back in the cell phone? You actually plug it in to get power, right? And you get a little bit of a boost. So what happens in the rubbing of 30, 45 seconds is very important with the product. As you're rubbing it in the abdomen or any muscle group that you're having any kind of cramping, the oils that are in, natural oils and ingredients that are in the product actually go down and penetrate the muscle, and they grab those adenodiphosphates and they convert them to adenotriphosphates, which ATP, if you're had kinesiology class or anything, ATP actually equals good muscle energy. It's like plugging your cell phone. So there is science behind the product. It's not just it is a topical, but it actually absorbs down into the muscle. Okay, very important. 65% is y'all. There are young women in the audience that have yourselves or sisters or daughters or females in your family that are embarrassed about talking about period cramps and taking products to the bathroom. 23% of teens and 14% of all women in the U.S. Use some sort of oral birth control here. I'm missing my apologies again. Take oral birth control pills to treat menstrual cramps. We were talking earlier that young mothers are faced with their young daughters growing up and then going to the pharmacist and going, hey, I'm going to go and put my daughter on birth control. I'm putting unwanted hormones in my daughter's body to help treat her menstrual cramps. And now we actually have an all-natural solution. Do you really want to introduce more hormones in the body? And the answer, as younger generations are searching those buzzwords of vegan, as I spoke earlier, and gluten-free, they're looking for hormone-free products as well, Heather. Students miss class due to period pain. 64% of women ages from 14 to 21 have missed a part of day or full day of school because of their period. Women under 21 are most likely to use report absenteeism. We talked about that a little bit, what absenteeism means, due to menstruation and related symptoms. And then school is the last place you really want to be. On the field, on the court, that's the last place you want to be. Or at work is, dealing with daily work functions when you're going through your period. 66% of teens don't want to be at school, as I said here.
Yeah, I think that all the pharmacists, all our friends on here now, absolutely have mothers, no mothers, have teenage daughters, have wives, are a wife, are a woman. I think they all totally understand the problem, and I love that you have put so much thought into exactly why women need this. But I would love to chat about, so number one, so you sold me, I want your product, let's get the product in my pharmacy.
Yes.
Number one, do you have samples? What happens, like, pretend you're onboarding me. What happens after I buy the product?
Actually, that's a great question. So what I would do is actually, and if I could turn my camera, we have a little caddy. I call it a little caddy, and we have a little 7.5 milliliter foil packs, which I know you've seen. I can't see my camera on, but we actually offer that for the pharmacy. We provide that for free. Sets up on the counter. It talks about it being FDA cleared. It's very attractive. It tells you how to apply. We actually provide there's probably about 45 to 50 of these little sample applications in one of these caddies that you set up by the counter, so the pharmacist can speak on behalf of control. We offer lunch and learn for the pharmacy and their staff. You schedule 30 minutes. We provide lunch. Obviously, we do it by Teams or by Zoom. We pay for that, bring it in for the staff. I do about a 15 to 20 minute, introductory to control and why control is so important. We also, let me kind of revert here, Heather. So for about 9 years, I lived in a little town called Glen Rose, Texas, maybe 25 or 3,000 people. And I actually had more faith in my independent pharmacist than I did my doctor, right? I really, really relish that relationship. So if I were prescribed a medication for anything, an oral or something, or I was taking oral, a capsule or tablet, I would go to Milton there at the local store, and I would say, Milton, is this good for me? He said, I wouldn't take that. I'd try something else. Try something else. And it gives the pharmacist, or it gives the customer, for that independent pharmacist, an option to choose an all natural product. So we do everything to support that pharmacy. It's not just you order the control, you put it on the shelf, and you don't hear from us. I'm very adamant with my team, our team at RNS, that we make sure that if you're the pharmacist, Heather, you know about the product, you know how to apply the product, you know why the product sets itself apart from anything else, and we support you. We also provide an application card. It's about a 4 inch by 4 by 6 inch of application card. It talks about, on the front, it talks about all the attributes of control. On the back, it's very, very elementary. It shows an actual quarter. It says use 1 to 2 quarter size. Apply for 30 to 45 seconds. It's very straightforward, very simple instructions. Control also acts as an antispasmodic, so it actually calms the sensory nerves. So it's like a 1-2 punch. But the advantage of that application card is we create a QR code for the pharmacy, specifically to that pharmacy. I don't want them going to Amazon. I don't want them going to Walmart. I want them to go back to the pharmacy and be a repeat customer for that product. So we do support 100%.
I 100% love that, and I hope that now all of our friends on here and watching later, watching on YouTube or whatever, can now see why I love you guys so much. Is that not only do you have an awesome product that fills a need, that is a definite need in our communities. It doesn't matter if you're a ginormous community or a small community. It fills a need, and they support you in selling it. They're not making you buy a bunch of products, like he said, that's just going to sit on your shelf and people are going to walk by, not have any education around it, not have any marketing around it. They have both of them. And then, shameless plug here, if you are a Diversify RX Pharmacy Badass member, we'll do your marketing. We'll create flyers and social posts and all of that fun stuff for you as well. So I love this product. I love the company. And I think that it can do well. I especially love the idea of adding it to starter kits for young girls that may be starting their period soon, or mama kits. I'm sure there's much better names for this stuff. Don't quote me or don't quote me or don't knock me down for not being very creative right now. But I 100% believe that this could be not just an add-on product to your stuff, but you can put it in whole packages. And I absolutely love it.
Heather, it's also something that a young lady in middle school, high school does not have to have a note from the parents to use the product, right? So if y'all out there that have daughters that are in school, or children in school for that matter, that have to go to class, they may have an upset stomach or something, they have to have a doctor's note not a doctor, but a parent's note on file, or be able to get in touch with the parent. This is something that even a counselor could give to a child. However, most young ladies, once they start using the product, will have their own product. They don't have to, they just excuse themselves. go to the ladies' room. So there's no note needed for them to actually use an all natural product and get relief. Pretty much spot on. And we say that you will experience relief in about 1 to 4 minutes. So once again, going back, why would you take an oral solid that may or may not work in 30 to 45 minutes? We've got a great product here that actually works in 1 to 4 minutes. And because it's all natural, you can apply as many times as needed. Typically what we find, Heather, is we find that young women are getting 3 to 4 hours worth of relief from the product. There are two exceptions that I like. I'm going to use the term disclaimer that we would like them to consult with their doctor on. Number one, if a female is pregnant or thinks she might be pregnant, even though it's all natural, we ask that they consult with a doctor. And then any young lady that's under the age of 12 years old, we also still ask the parent to consult with a doctor and have the drug facts with them so the doctor can make the decision. We've never had any issues. It's just something we've kind of set the rules of engagement for the product and for the young lady. Okay?
Sure. I totally get that.
I'm going to get to the end of this because a lot of this is just statistics that we've done a lot of research on that really not. I mean, it's important, but it's not what we're here to talk about. We are. I want to get to the deal, and this is kind of right here what this talks about, how it actually works, how the ingredients work on being an antispasmodic, how it is a anti-inflammatory, and how it converts the ADP into ATP. And this is actually, this card right here you see is pretty similar. You have the QR code will be specific to that pharmacy, and that's what we want. We want repeat sales through the independent pharmacies and through your members, Heather.
I absolutely love that.
I'm sorry, Heather. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
So one new thing that I do want to, this is unexpected for you, Heather. We've talked about it at your shows before, but we're actually launching a KRT by Control Athletic Muscle Cream. Very similar for the independent pharmacies that are out there that may have some athletes that are like at the collegiate level or maybe even higher than that. Very important. The product is actually what they consider to be WADA compliant, which is World Anti-Doping Agency. It's met all their criteria, so they won't, if they test, they do testing on them, they won't fail a test. And unbeknownst to me, but since being in this field, if you will, I did not realize that Midol is actually on the banned substance list for our USA Olympians because it's considered to be a diuretic. So it's not a huge concern until you get up until that level of athletics, college or higher. It's very, very important that it is WADA compliant. So, and we are launching this. And we'll have this at about 3 weeks. That we'll go head to head. We're actually doing study testing of a PhD, Dr. Kevin Miller at Texas State, and we're actually going head to head with BioFreeze on an actual independent study, so we can actually speak on the results and actually publish the results. So, and we're doing that on control as well. Yes.
Well, and I also know a little insider information, and please don't be mad at me for sharing, but there is an Olympic team, a U.S. Olympic team that uses your products, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The USA bobsled team uses the product. The entire team has access to it. We sponsor the entire team, but we also sponsor 2 individuals, a young lady, Sydney Milani, who's on the 2-person women's bobsled, and then a young man named Andy Whittier. He just won the world champion, what they call push champions, by using our product and got personal times with the product with this product here that you see on the screen. And he's took it to Norway for those championships, and it's just been phenomenal. Both products are great. Any questions, Heather?
That's incredible. Yep, there is one. Joe says it looks like your website directs them to Amazon. What's going to keep them coming?
Well, that's the reason the application cards are so important to that independent pharmacist that we want to have when they purchase it. We want that QR code to go right back to the independent pharmacist. It is available online, but I want the sale to go back to the pharmacist. I don't really want it going to Amazon.
And so yes, it can be sold in the pharmacy, but also that QR code acts as an affiliate link, correct?
Yes, we would create that QR code specifically for your pharmacy only. Then Mike's pharmacy, we create a QR code for his pharmacy, for Scott's pharmacy, specifically to his pharmacy.
Perfect, perfect. I love that. Joe, does that answer your question? Is there a minimum for purchasing it? Is there a minimum for purchasing it for your pharmacy to have stock? And what's the price difference that independent can sell it as opposed to Amazon?
Well, let's see. What was the first part of the question, Heather? What was that question? The first part again? I'm sorry.
If somebody wanted stock to buy it, to purchase it, what are the minimums? And then, okay.
Yeah, no minimums, and that also includes the other services that RNS Northeast offers. There are no members by setting up RNS Northeast as a secondary or third party wholesaler. We have no minimums. We have no admin fees. For those pharmacists out there that want to talk more about what we offer, more of an umbrella outside of this one product. AJ Page, I could drop that in the chat, probably AJ Page at rsnortheast.com. We'll be able to answer those questions. But to answer your questions, there are no minimums. We do have MAP pricing at $15.98. The sale delivered to the pharmacy is $10.67, so that yields about a 33% margin. And you can sell it up to like $19.98, which yields about a 46, almost 47% gross profit margin.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
And AJ just put his email in the chat.
Okay.
For those of you watching after, not live, that will be in the show resources.
Yes, I encourage outside of this one to two products we talked about today, I'd encourage reaching out to AJ, and she would be more than happy to field some questions about once again those that might be interested in a rebate program on generics. We do offer more things than the items I'm speaking about today. Full service wholesaler. I'm not looking to be the primary, but I've learned whether I was in the federal government, Heather, or dealing with any type of retail, most people don't like their wholesaler and like to have options. And so that RNS Northeast is a great option.
No, I totally agree with that. And AJ's just a nice person to talk to. Anyway, she'll give you all the loading. So I absolutely love this. Thank you for joining us. Is there any last words that you'd like to give our friends?
I just, I'm a believer in the product. I encourage, like I said, once this other KRT is launched in about 3 weeks, I encourage anyone to try that product on that has any type of restless leg syndrome. We've got really great stories, but I encourage to really look at the control, look at the drug fact sheet. AJ, we can provide that. I can provide that to you, Heather. You can pass that out on a mass basis. I really encourage to everybody to look at the product. It gives you an option for that person, for your customer that's coming in the pharmacy looking for some for themselves or their daughter as an all-natural hormone-free option, and that's pretty much. I mean, it just simply works. It just simply works.
I agree. So in full disclosure, I've used this product on my sore legs and my sore back at Summit, and it worked fantastic for those aches and pains. I am not a woman with a period anymore, probably too much information to share. However, I haven't used it in that way, but I have used it on my lower back and on my calves, and it worked fantastic for that. I am so happy to have you guys on. I'm so happy to share you more in depth with our pharmacy friends, and I look forward to the KRT coming out and trying that as well. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thanks, Heather. Thank you very much.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Have an awesome rest of your Wednesday. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.